Let's talk about Bumble, but not the Bumble we know today. This is a story of a marketing misfire and the strategy to fix it. Bumble thought they were encouraging dating, but what people heard was your personal choices are wrong. This backfired hard, breaking self-determination theory, which tells us people need to feel autonomous, not shamed. Bumble's brand is built on empowerment, but this campaign contradicted that. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, people want belonging and self-worth. Bumble made them just feel judged instead. Is the campaign that we are talking about, and as you can see, all the wrong words. Before the backlash, Bumble wasn't just a dating app, it was a movement. Brand equity theory explains how this emotional loyalty worked, but loyalty didn't survive a broken brand promise. There was misalignment with brand values, failure to understand the audience trends, and market misreading was the main highlight of all of this. Leaned on into intentional dating, following market orientation theory, which adapts the audience's needs. Bumble, they lost the plot. Bumble ignored cultural dimensions theory, failing to recognize the cultural shift towards self-love and emotional safety. It wasn't just a bad ad, it became a brand identity crisis, resulting in the key issues that they faced, such as reputation damage, loss of brand credibility, competitive weakness, potential user attrition, and market misreading. The two matrix definitely helped breaking down the damage. Starting with strengths and weaknesses, Bumble's strength is its feminist brand, but poor research weakened that. Value proposition canvas shows they missed the mark on their users' emotional needs. Then about opportunities and threats. Talking about opportunity, self-growth trends were on the rise. Bumble ignored blue ocean strategy, competing in the same time as tired narratives as Tinder, instead of creating new empowering values. The threat was that the competitors adapted faster. Classic dynamic capabilities theory. Bumble didn't just fall behind, they fell flat. Now, talking about Bumble's customer insight, there was clearly a huge psychographic mismatch. Talking about the intended target, Bumble wanted to attract dating skeptics, but clearly missed the mark. Segmentation theory says demographics aren't enough, psychographics matter the more, but clearly there was a miscommunication or a gap because the actual impact was that they ended up alienating asexuals, celibate individuals, and those prioritizing self-growth, all driven by the theory of planned behavior, where personal beliefs fuel decisions. The psychographic misfire was when, because of the attitude behavior consistency theory explains why this backfired, people only acted on beliefs when they feel supported. Bumble made them feel attacked. So far, we established that the dating landscape is no longer about finding someone, it's about finding yourself. Brand resonance theory shows Bumble lost its emotional connection, but now rebuilding Bumble's reputation is the major part of the SMART objectives. The first objective was to fix the situation, but where now I'm using three SMART objectives rooted in goal setting theory. The first is to rebuild trust, where we increase positive sentiments by 30%. The second one is to boost DAU by 25%. The third one is to recover revenue by 20%. Each objective builds momentum for the next, creating a domino effect. Integrated marketing communications ensure this message is consistent everywhere Bumble shows up. And clearly, the first objective is focused on speak and serve. The second one is again sizzle and serve, while the third one is sell and save. But all of them are focused from 5S. A lot to think about, isn't it? Now, finally, I have a persona breakdown. The thing to remember first is psychographics outperform demographics in engagement prediction. Consumer mindsets matter more than the age. So Meet Emma, 26 years old, values emotional safety and authenticity. Built using buyer persona theory for precision targeting. What Emma actually wants. Emma wants empowerment, not pressure, aligning with experience economy theory, where brands sell feelings and not features. The value proposition is that dating that heals, not hurts. This is again based on emotional branding theory. Bumble becomes an ally, not an authority. While studying about somebody who fits Emma's profile, the psychological drivers and emotional insights are mostly the factors that feed into their digital behavior, which then further feed into their dating behavior. So, understanding the persona, or rather the consumer, is highly critical in this situation after what happened initially in this campaign. Bumble's original value proposition empowered women, but the backlash proved that empowerment needs to evolve. The anti-celibacy campaign undermined users' autonomy, contradicting Bumble's feminist identity. To recover, Bumble must shift from women making the first move to everyone defining dating on their own terms. Important here is for them to send the message that they focus on embracing self-growth, relationships, or celibacy. Anything that anybody wants is what Bumble would focus on. By adopting the caregiver archetype, as mentioned by Mark and Pearson's, Bumble becomes, or supposedly would become, a supportive ally offering emotional safety and authenticity, particularly a space where users can feel empowered rather than feeling pressured. The ecosystems now, Bumble doesn't just need more content, it needs the right content in the right places. The new digital ecosystem revolves around intentional engagement, meeting users where they naturally connect and explore. TikTok fuels storytelling and visibility. Similarly, Reddit builds community trust, and Spotify podcasts create emotional depth. Each channel serves a specific user intent, such as awareness, building trust, or conversation, forming an interconnected ecosystem that drives engagement from discovery to retention. Bumble partners with micro influencers who are niche, relatable voices who embody empowerment and emotional authenticity, specifically from communities such as LGBTQ, people who focus on self growth and mental health, would be high impact, would be considered as high impact because users mostly trust people and not just brands. Even though there is a lot of risk that could come with these influencers and people, it it is I feel worth taking because it could always be a positive negative thing in every aspect, but you have to start from somewhere. But there are a few things that can be considered as a solution to these problems, and the company has to be always on their toes when it concerns people. But whatever happens with people, I am just going to say that no marketing is bad marketing. This slide breaks down Bumble's customer journey into three key stages: awareness, consideration, and decision. Each stage highlights the touchpoints, content types, user actions, and key metrics that define success. As you can just skim through all the details in the table, I would like to highlight just the important insight here that high friction in the decision stage kills conversions, aligning with Shafi's research on decision making barriers. This highlights the need for smoother transactions and personalized incentives to convert hesitant users faster than expected. We are focusing on key digital tools that are TikTok and Instagram ads featuring micro influencers, but also AI powered push notifications via Braze to personalize engagement and gamified referrals to reward loyal users for sharing. This approach blends proven research with practical, scalable strategies for sustained growth. Every new plan always comes with its own risk, but I'm sure there's always a solution. So here is a breakdown of all the paid, owned, and earned media that Bumble could use, and a suggestion of whatever the risk could happen, or like what they could face, and also a solution to what could be done to minimize the risks. So for paid media, we have TikTok and Instagram micro influencers, AI powered chatbots such as Drift chatbot on app or social media DMs for instant query handling, and then RACE triggered push notifications, which are extremely personalized as per the consumer behavior, and then podcast sponsorship, such as empowerment podcasts, have really connected with people. And then lastly, referral and UGC programs would have gamified tiered reward programs where people could use it for 30 days to activate their rewards. So there is like more engagement happening on the app and more people are consuming the content we are creating. As you can see, the newer journey map looks way more positive, with the KPIs performing better and the journey being longer, that as if the people are staying on the app more and interacting with the brand more, but on a positive side. Here I've just added a graph showing a comparison between the previous journey map and the newer journey map. Here we have a 12-month phased rollout grounded in campaign planning theory and objective and task budgeting, ensuring that every pound ties to performance. I figured that these would be a few of the monthly milestones that we would have to focus if this plan was to be in action. Have the people that would be responsible for all of the work that is to be done. And after studying return on marketing investment theories, I believe that tracking CPA, LVT, and emotional brand equity and stuff like that would be really important. And there is a approximate breakdown of the budget that would be important. Was required, but I have just added a few messages that brand could use to showcase the ideas that are for the newer content. Assessment and mitigation of long-term view is also important because you need to know which risk is what intensity of impact when done in the real world. So this is something to keep in mind whenever we're running a campaign. I have added a few benchmarks for each quarter, which people could keep in mind, mostly the marketing team, and then a few measurement tools that could be used by the company to measure if the objectives are performing properly and if the targets are being achieved or not. Also, it's important to know which things are to be done weekly and which things are to be checked monthly or quarterly, because it's really important, because if you don't know it, you might come back and realize that a lot of things have changed in those days where things were not checked. So then moving on to mapping, we need to really be focused on what's happening. But if there's like influencer overload, chatbot underperformance, referral program fatigue, app uninstalls, spikes, or competitor disruptions, because these things would directly impact and have really big impacts on the company's overall performance. Obvious that no plans are going to stay the same forever, because anything that we start with the first month would obviously need some changes in the second month. So we need to keep a track of what changes are to be made and do the refinements as required and as frequently required. The most important thing that we need to keep in mind is we could keep prices lower for the profit, but then we need to know where to draw the line. We could not manage, or we could not afford to lower the price so much that it affects the quality of the leads that we are getting. So the pricing is to be focused, or the budgeting is to be focused really well, as I have figured that the cost per CPA would be 3.50 per user. Referral driven LTV would be £55 per user. Influencer campaign ROI would be 18% CTR lift. And then community value index would be 7.5 out of 10 user satisfaction score. And these were the few things that the company should keep in mind while making the campaign.